Hello, everybody. Namaste. Welcome. Week 4, the heart chakra. So glad to be over the solar plexus. I can't take a lot of that that fire energy. I mean, I have a lot of it already. So every time I go through this chakra journey, we get to the solar plexus, and it's like the ego and then hiding behind the ego, there's the true self, like, hey, I want to come out, and the ego is like, oh. So yeah, that was a rough week, man. There's a lot of journaling that goes along with that. There's a lot of internal awareness of the ego, or the negative ego, and like the story that maybe is like holding us back, this old story of this one time, and here I am 20 years later still, feeding those negative energies. So if you didn't get a chance to do the story work, I did post and if you just want to look through, I did post all of the pamphlets for the heal class, for what we're doing here, the 8 weeks of healing. I posted those on Vishram Holistic Health Facebook page. So if you look up Vishram Holistic Health on Facebook, you'll see the pictures, and there's like 9 pages, and it's just this whole journey. So but yeah, that story work stuff is rough, and last week was a trip. I was getting angry, I was getting frustrated. So I'm so happy to be here at my heart. This is my abode. This is where I rest. Even though I'm very aware of the whole system, I always come back here. I feel that we should all do that. After you rise up and we go through the whole thing, and then just to come back. I heard a lot of great yogis say, once you go through, once you have an awareness of all these other, you just come here, stay here, right? So compassion, right? Empathy, forgiveness. Now when we look at all that stuff, at our negative qualities, character defects, things that are, we may not like so much about ourselves, it's not good to stay in that. Don't do any of that remorse or guilt and shame, and on that. It's like, that's why we come here now. We forgive, we get present, we learn to accept, and not only us, but also like all the other people that may have caused us harm, or the other people that were involved in creating of that story, right? Whether it's your parents, or siblings, or friends, I don't know, exes, whatever. So we come here now, we can move into forgiveff. Now, forgiveness isn't always easy, and again, journaling is amazing, because we could write out how we can forgive ourselves, how we can maybe, now this is a key aspect, and I talk about this a lot, about being able to forgive the actor but not forgive the act per se, right? So if somebody had harmed me in some way, I talk about this all the time. If somebody had harmed me, right, they were in their own spiritual sickness, or they were in their own mental sickness, or they were in their own emotions, right? And if you can view that situation as they were hurting, right? They were hurting and then shed that hurt on me, then we can forgive the actor, right? As like, all right, well, they were just, they're just a sick person or whatever. But the thing is that the action itself that was done, like if somebody like hits me, or somebody like says something really nasty to me, I don't have to forgive. I don't need to forgive that because it's a negative act, but I can forgive them because, I've been there. I've been the person who has caused harm to another person. I have, it's just, we're all capable of doing that, and I'm sure that we all have in some way. So by not forgiving the other person for them being, in their own sadness, is like, that's the same thing as not forgiving ourselves, you know. So we want to work on being, that's the best way that I could explain like how forgiving someone else actually helps you forgive, right? It's actually really for you at the end of the day, is because we're all part of this same thing, like this same spirit, this same energy. We all have the same things going on. We all have emotions. We all have thoughts. We all have times of our life that are difficult, right? So can we forgive not only ourselves, but also those who may have caused us a little bit of harm? That opens up these doors, right? So to come here is just the most beautiful thing. Now, I do want to discuss real quick before we get started. You'll see in the depiction of the heart chakra is the two intersecting triangles, right? It's like this in the yogic model. It's like a circle with the two intersecting triangles, much like the Star of David. But then they have, it's like lotuses, the 12. I think it's 12 lotus petals around it, right? And it's green and it has this little symbol in the middle. But the same thing is like the Star of David. Like what that is symbolizing is that there's the divine up here, and the divine is coming down and touching us, touching our hearts, right? And then us here, down on this plane of existence, is reaching up and touching the divine. Now, when those two things happen simultaneously, it like cracks a code in our hearts. And then we can feel, what Christ was talking about, what Buddha was talking about, what Krishna is teaching in the Gita, right? This oneness, this yoga, this union between man and God, or this union between man and nature, or and the universe, right? It's that two intersecting triangles. As above, so below. As below, so above. It also is the symbol of that. And that, in certain traditions and cultures, they call it Merkaba, right? Merkaba. And that's why I'm going to be using this tonight, is the crystal pyramid, which is also green like the color of the heart chakra, right? So the intersecting triangles, right? So this is a really cool instrument to help with that Merkaba activation, right? So get yourselves comfortable, get yourself seated. If you want more information on the heart chakra, you could go on the Facebook page, or you could just research on your own, and you'll see all the different things. Now, this is the element air. It's very flow and windy, like nice, more like Vata energy. Very nice when you're out in nature. The heart opens up when we walk out into the woods, right? And just breathe. So let's take some breaths like that together, right? So we're going to flip the palms up, breathe in toward the heart. Flip the palms facing out, exhale out. Just like we breathe the oxygen from the trees in, and they breathe the dioxide as we breathe out. Inward and outward. Deep breath in. Outward flow out. A couple more, just calming down the nervous system. In. Out. Start to close your eyes as we're breathing this way with the movements. Out. Just really want to oxidize the mind and the body. In. Out. Just a couple more. In and out. Hopefully the eyes are closed now and you can feel the breath going in and out. In and out. Now we're going to take one nice deep breath, and we're going to keep the hands on the chest. In. Hold the breath. Open the heart nice and wide, shoulders wide. And then as you exhale, just ground your energy down into earth. Take one more breath. Open the hands up all the way out toward the sides. Just thinking of some words like compassion, love, forgiveness. Let them be in the heart. Casting that intention out as we breathe in, reaching the hands all the way up overhead, connecting us to the divine, palms together, the divine, exhaling out down to us at the heart, bringing that union of spiritual energy of the divine and our own spiritual energy at our hearts, our soul. Breathe in and exhale out, and slowly relax the hands down into the lap. Just notice how you feel in this moment. Notice into the body. And we want to send some loving energy to our physical body, every cell of the body, all the organs of the body, including the mind, all the senses, the ears, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and sending love to our own hearts. Sending love and understanding to our emotional body. Sending love and compassion into the energy of the body, the electricity that flows through the body. And then also the electromagnetic field around the body. Let it just be lit up with love and compassion, kindness, tolerance, patience. And as you sit in this orb of love, light, and understanding, just listen into the sound frequencies and allow them to bathe over you and bring you peace and contentment. heart. Continue to send love and direct it where it needs to go. Accepting yourself completely, accepting others and past situations completely, allowing us to become free and whole and one. Slowly start to come back to your breath. Start to come back into your body. All together, let's roll the shoulders forward. Breathe in nice and deep. Roll them up, back, and then exhale, grounding ourselves down. Making the sound of wind. Breathe in. And sound of wind out. Now we're going to place our hands down on the earth. We'll take a nice deep breath in. And then send our love and compassion down to Mother Earth. Let the breath come back to natural and see if you can feel that response from Mother Earth in our hearts. And we'll flip the palms facing up. And we'll take a nice deep breath in and reach the hands up overhead, sending our love and compassion up to the universe above. Exhale out. Slowly bring the hands down to the heart center. Let the breath come back to natural pattern. And notice if you can feel the response from the divine. Just taking in a moment of that loving connection between heaven and earth and the body and our hearts. Take a moment to say something kind to yourself. We are all worthy of love. We are all deserving of compassion. I feel the more of that we give, the more we will receive. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Namaste. One more nice deep breath. And just sigh it out. Thank you everybody for joining in. Take care.